Imagine coming home after a long trip, only to find your apartment full of unexpected guests, each one convinced they have a special place in your life. That's the kind of mess Bill Ferguson gets himself into in Don't Bother to Knock, 1961, a British comedy that serves up mistaken identities, romantic mix-ups, and a whole lot of trouble, all thanks to one lost key. Starring Richard Todd, Elke Sommer, and a cast of familiar British faces, this film takes the classic farce formula and gives it an international twist. So, what's the story? Bill Ferguson, played by Richard Todd, is a travel agent based in Edinburgh. After losing his apartment key during an argument with his girlfriend Stella, he has no idea that his American colleague Maggie, played by Judith Anderson, has found it in his trouser cuff. But instead of just giving it back, she secretly makes a copy. Actually, several copies.
Just came to see you safely off and to give you this.
Each one neatly labelled with his address. Nice gesture, right? Well, not exactly. As Bill travels around Europe for work, he ends up having flirtations with 3 different women. And in what seems like a smooth, but ultimately disastrous move, he gives each one a copy of his key, inviting them to visit him in Edinburgh anytime.
You are a naughty boy, Mr. Ferguson.
What are the odds that all 3 would actually take him up on that offer? Pretty high, apparently. Fast forward to the Edinburgh Festival, and things spiral out of control. 2 of the women, plus the teenage daughter of the 3rd, all arrive at around the same time.
Good night, Bill. Sleep well.
Good night, Lucille.
Time you were in bed.
Why don't you shut up?
Good night, Bill.
Good night, Harry.
Good night, William.
Good night, Ingrid.
Good night, Perry.
What follows is a chaotic, fast-paced comedy while trying to keep his girlfriend Stella, played by June Thorburn, from finding out about his, let's call them, hospitality arrangements. Richard Todd, who was known for serious roles in films like The Dam Busters, gets to show off his comedic side here.
Well, knowing you'll soon warm it up. Be there in a minute.
Playing a man who is desperately trying to keep his double or triple life from crashing down around him.
I was quick on because I made up at too much time.
Elke Sommer, already establishing herself as an international star, adds charm and glamour to the mix.
What right have you got over Ingrid? You don't intend to marry her, do you? Yes, I marry her.
Maestro!
And John Le Mesurier brings his usual understated wit.
I can't bear those things. They go on all night and you're fit for nothing next morning. Well, as long as you enjoyed yourself, my dear, that's the great thing.
The film makes great use of its Edinburgh setting, especially with the backdrop of the famous festival, which adds to the lively and unpredictable nature of the story. While the plot follows the traditional farce structure, coincidences, misunderstandings, and last-minute escapes, it does so with a distinctly British charm.
Who do you think I am, Sterling Moss?
Upon its release, Don't Bother to Knock wasn't a massive hit, but it found an audience who enjoyed its light-hearted humour and fast-paced antics. One challenge it faced was its title, because it shares the name with the 1952 Marilyn Monroe thriller. It's often confused with that film, which is a completely different genre, but if you love classic British comedies with a touch of international flair, this one is worth checking out. It's got mistaken identities, romantic chaos, and plenty of laughs, all set against the picturesque streets of Edinburgh. Have you seen Don't Bother to Knock? Or did you, like many others, originally mistake it for the Marilyn Monroe movie? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more classic film deep dives.
Come in! The water's freezing!